Welcome to the Chicken Sniper's review of Diablo 3. I'm going to talk about launch problems, characters, combat, mechanics, and my opinion of the game. To all the people who bought this by pre-order and expected to play at 12 o'clock Pacific time, this is the screen you ended up with for most of the time. The servers had immediate problems with launch. That's to be expected with a big release. However, the problems continued, and around noon, they had to take the servers down and fix them, and it only got back online around 3. Not a great start, but I expect it to get better. Now for characters. While we do have 5 wildly different classes, who all play in ridiculously different ways, the choice ends up boiling down to one of these 5, male or female. You don't get to customize your face, skin, or hair, or pretty much anything at all. If you make 2 characters of the same type, I guess you could give them different armor, but that's not much of a distinguishment. Thing is, you're not going to want to make 2 characters of the same type, because they'll play exactly the same. Characters can switch skills at any time, and the attributes are not choosable. As a fan of Skyrim's character creation, I expected something more. Some sliders, facial characteristics. I mean, even Two Worlds had those features. However, you're kind of stuck with the pre-mades. In fact, the lack of customization in this screen is my major gripe with the entire game. As I said, every class has extremely different gameplay styles, which is going to give the game extremely good replayability. However, they also have different lines, different cutscenes, and pretty much different stories, though they do follow the same big arc, and NPCs interact with each the same way. So, I think this game is going to be occupying a lot of my time as I work every single character up to the maximum level, because I just want to see all the content and play all the styles. Combat essentially contains clicking on enemies until they die. However, combat is made interesting by mixing and matching various skill sets. So, in this clip, you see me going through the Witch Doctor character's skills menu, which allows a great deal of variety. However, the unlock system is very linear, and it does not allow you to follow a specific tree and ignore another. While your basic attacks and movement are controlled by the mouse on your right hand, the advanced attacks are done with the 1 through 4 keys on the left side of your keyboard. The ability to basically push every single command the character has in a few moments makes the game very easy to pick up, and it gives it a very good combat system. However, this combat system is best for fighting a large group of small enemies. So spiders swarm you, you can hack and slash and use all your special abilities, AoE, and it is beautiful and gory and fun. But if you have to focus down a boss, which you quite often do, it becomes cumbersome. It feels like you don't have enough focus damage abilities. I've done this as a Witch Doctor and as a Barbarian, and neither of them had focused damage abilities for bosses. One last note about combat as a Demon Hunter. I've seen, but not played myself, that Demon Hunters have a hard time keeping up damage because their basic attacks cost rage. That requires them to be much more tactical than other classes. As for mechanics, I have to say that they are dumbed down in favor of allowing you to sort through your inventory very quickly and then get back out into the slaughter as quickly as possible. That's not a bad thing, but it's not an RPG. This is a hack and slash game with a strong storyline, and I think it's a pretty good game in spite of not actually being an RPG. So in this screen, we see that the inventory is slot-based, with all sorts of inventory slots for your equipment. The equipment is the main way that you can customize what kind of character you'd like to play. Two-handed, one-handed, magic, whatever. And that's kind of a weak customization in my opinion. Now, if you are a heavy RPG junkie and you must see your strength, agility, and intelligence and how they factor into your combat, there's a screen for that. However, there is no ability to, say, make a barbarian that focuses on agility. The barbarian is going to level along a set path, and all you can do about it is modify his skills. This screenshot shows exactly what I'm talking about. In the chat box in the bottom left, which is also where you communicate with people online, it shows that I've gained a bunch of things by leveling, but it never gave me an option to pick them. Alright, so now on to death mechanics. When you die, you are sent to the last checkpoint that you reached. Or if you're on hardcore mode, the game is over and you can't play anymore. So, this is pretty good if you are following the storyline in a linear fashion. However, I'm the guy who likes to stick his nose into every single corner, and when you do that, you don't hit many checkpoints very often. And so, you end up way back or far away from where you are. However, all of your progress is saved and your inventory comes with you when you die, so you don't actually lose anything. However, when you die after level 10, your equipment takes a 10% durability knock, which needs to be repaired at a vendor. So basically, you get perfectly functioning equipment until you die 10 times with the same piece equipped, at which point it becomes unusable until repaired. Okay, this is what I think of this game. The three big things that I like is that it's easy to play, it's got an epic storyline, it's got satisfying combat. This game is almost as easy as a first-person shooter to play. Plus, it's got this epic storyline full of random characters like these guys that have conversations in your background, and you can get wrapped up just wandering around town listening to things. I also really enjoy the satisfying combat and the different experiences between the classes that they all have in their own unique way of killing hordes of monsters. The three things I liked least were the boss fights, the customization, and the lack of variety between the same characters. So, boss fights, I found tend to be the boss shows up for a little bit, you beat on him a little bit, and then he'll run off into a place you can't follow him, and he'll summon minions. You kill the minions, boss comes back. Rinse and repeat until the boss runs out of a health bar. And the boss has an epic health bar. And it feels a little lame. The second thing I disliked was lack of customization. I wanted to make this monk have hair, and I couldn't do it, and that makes me sad. And it's a little thing like that that'll make you really attached to the characters that you create. The final thing I disliked about this game was the lack of ability to make characters, the same character, like two barbarians, into radically different guys. The only real difference between two characters of the same type was what inventory they're using. That's it. You can switch between skills to make one mirror the other at a moment's notice, though not in the midst of combat. I remember a game called Neverwinter Nights where at the end of the character creation, you could choose, for instance, a fighter. You could make him a dexterous fighter who would pick feats and attributes automatically, which would help him use medium armor and light weapons. Or you could tell him to be a gladiator who would use two weapons, one in each hand. Or you could go with standard fighter who would go for the heaviest shield and armor he could find. The most important thing you could do as a fighter is you could choose to say, no, I am not going to follow your path. I am going to pick all of my own attributes and all of my own feats, and I think that I can do it better than your computer program can. And you can make a fighter that does crazy things in that system. This does not allow for that. A barbarian, is going to pick the heaviest armor and the highest damage weapons, and the only things you really can customize are skills and inventory. My rating of this game is a 7 out of 10. It is a wonderful hack and slash game that has beautiful physics and a lot of good storyline. However, it feels dumbed down. It wasn't the RPG that I was expecting. This has been the Chicken Sniper's review of Diablo 3. Thank you for watching, and leave something in the comments that tells me, do you think I'm on the money or do you think I'm way off? I'll probably respond. Thank you for watching.